Imagine in some post-apocalyptic future after wars and all kinds of other things that much of the world's information is lost. That books have been lost, computers have been wiped clean, all the data that we once knew is once gone. And so someday when we're trying to tell distant generations of someone like Shakespeare, and the only thing I can remember is, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy name and something. Or to be or not to be. That is the question, whether it is nobler in mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune? Yes, okay. And that's the extent of Mike Shakespeare. Well, there's also the out spot scene, but that's all I remember from Macbeth. Okay, and so we're trying to explain to someone what Shakespeare was who doesn't know anything about it because the world does not remember. Such was one of the most influential astronomers that you've never heard of, Aristarchus of Samos. He was a Greek philosopher in 400 BC, who was the first person that we're aware of anyway, that said that the Earth is not the center of the universe, that the Earth actually goes around the sun, because what he did is he did some fancy geometry, and during a solar eclipse, he used right triangles and calculated that the sun must be really big but really far away, which is why it looks small. And the only reason we know about this is because Aristotle once wrote in one of his writings of Aristarchus of Samos and his idea that the sun is the center of the universe. It just doesn't make sense. How does that explain how the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, and the progressions of the stars and planets across the heavens? And that's it. That's all we know of this guy who first thought that the sun is actually in the middle of our solar system and not the Earth. And this went away for just a long time. And it wasn't until Nicholas Copernicus found that writing of Aristotle and said, the sun is in the center. I wonder what that would look like. And so he tried to draw it out and do that type of thing, and it started the ball rolling of what is now modern-day astronomy. But the real tragedy of history is no one remembered. Through wars, the destruction of the great library at Alexandria, the burning of the House of Wisdom in Baghdad, the fall of the Roman Empire, all of that information was lost because no one remembered. And that's honestly why we come around this table. And we have the words, in gold at the front of the table of, do this in remembrance of me. We are as a people, we're forgetful. If we're not reminded of something constantly, it just tends to fade away until it's gone. And if it's not something that we constantly use all of the time, then it's something that is lost. Believe it or not, I actually was in my high school's production of Romeo and Juliet. I got to do the "you bite your thumb at me, sir," and I got to do a sword fight, and I was stabbed and I died. And that's all I remember of Romeo and Juliet, besides the two little scenes that I gave you. Because I have not bothered to remember, I have not practiced. It has not become a part of me where I get together and I think to myself, I have to know this. We gather around this table because this is important. We cannot forget the sacrifice that was made. We cannot forget this man named Jesus and all of the things that he has done for us. And so when we come around this table, when we gather together on a Sunday morning and we all come here, it's great to see everybody, it's great to sing, it's great to pray, but we must remember. Let's pray.